you have to generate interest in science right from a very, very early age. We should ask children application based questions and these type of questions where their knowledge can be actually utilized in for the service of mankind. We have to orient everything, that do not take the air and the water and the soil for granted.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I'm your host Seema. Science is able to inform problem solving and decision making in many areas of our life. Many of the major challenges and opportunities that confront our world need to be approached from a scientific perspective. But don't you think, along with scientific perspective, taking into account social and ethical considerations is equally important? Well, let's see how. How we can ensure that science and values both work intertwined. Let's welcome our guest of today, Dr. Sujata Singh. She's principal of DPS Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. She'll be sharing with her thoughts on importance of science education with value education. Please welcome to Great Principles. Welcome, ma'am. We are very honored to have you on our podcast.
Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, you have
Yeah.
chosen a very interesting topic of science and coupling with the values. When these two goes together, then no one can stop the growth. So, before discussing more on this today's topic, let us understand a little background of yours. What has been your
Yes.
journey in education and what keeps you going in here?
I have been in the field of education for a very long time now. And for all those who do not know, Prayagraj is actually Allahabad. The name got changed few years back. So everybody knows Allahabad. It's a very, very old city. And I'm the principal of DPS Allahabad. I started my journey. I'm basically from Bihar. And I started my teaching journey from there. I have been a teacher of biology for a very long time in Notre Dame Academy, Patna, which is a very premium school run by the missionaries over there. It's a girls' school. And in 2012, so I worked there right from 1996, 97 to 2012. So that is quite a long span of my life I've given to that school, and thousands of students we have taught. So that was a very beautiful journey, I would say. After that, in 2012, I moved into administration and I joined Shamford, which was I was the pioneer principal there. So I was there for 2 3 years, and then I got the opportunity of coming to UP. And this is the school, and I came to see the school, and it was so beautiful and green and such beautifully landscaped. I just fell in love, and I stayed here forever. So now I joined here in 2015, and I have almost completed 7 years. I'm in the eighth year now, and it is all going very well, and I'm quite well settled and very much acquainted with the working of the school and also with the staff and the students. So this has been my journey in education, and before this I also had a career in sales and marketing. That was before I came into teaching. So I have done that also. I have done for 3 4 years. So yeah, this is what has been. I have not changed many jobs. I have been maybe 2 or 3 places only I have worked. And I think stability is a very big USP of mine. So
Absolutely, ma'am. So,
yes,
being at one place and the place which you fall in love, there is nothing like that. When
yes,
you get
yes.
this kind of combination, you actually tend to be just with your heart and soul, be there and doing the best for it. So, this is what is ma'am is doing at DPS Pragraj, and I'm
And
sure, yeah,
by the grace of God, I have got good people. So there was no reason to leave. That has also been, I think, I will be very thankful that I've got the opportunity to work with the best of people everywhere, best of colleagues and best of managements. And that is, I think, that is a very, it's a blessing in disguise, that where you can really explore yourself, and you can feel free to do whatever you want to do.
very true,
So
ma'am. Even
this
the,
is something I would like to add. Yes.
yeah, even the workplace is like, a family away from family. So even at
Yes,
workplace,
yes,
you need
definitely.
your
Yes, yes,
family.
yes.
So when you have people around, those who make you feel like family, you don't, you just want to be
Yes,
around
you
with
don't
them.
feel like going. Yes, you are
Yeah,
very
yeah,
comfortable. Yes.
right. So
See,
moving ahead in our discussion.
different people look for different things in a job. Maybe I
Right.
look for mental peace and the freedom to explore myself. So I think I have always been with people who have given me absolute freedom to do what I actually wanted to do in the school and in the classroom. Yes.
Sure. And I'm sure, ma'am, with freedom comes a lot of responsibilities. When you
Oh,
have this
yes.
kind of freedom, you
Oh,
are,
yes.
there is so much responsibilities. But when you are determined that yes, I am going to give my best, then there is no looking back, and people start
You are
trusting in your
right.
capabilities more than you. So this is
Yes.
the magic of giving your 100% to your work. So keeping this beautiful start of the session, we go ahead. So, ma'am, as you
Yes.
have seen, you have been in education domain for long, and there are so many subjects that we teach our children. Every subject carries its own importance. And today we are discussing on science, the subject which
Yeah.
tells us how and why, which answers the
Yes.
curiosities of the child, which develops so many things. So let's discuss why science education is so crucial and what is the right method of teaching science to students. You cannot just teach through book, right? There has to be some practical experience to it.
Yes, yes, yes. When we talk of science, basically, when we look at the jobs that children opt for, we will hardly hear anybody saying that I want to be a scientist or I want to go into research. If you look at history, there are so many people from our country who have been great scientists, and people have won Nobel Prize and such big prizes in science, and they have been on the world level. But current, if you look at last 20 years, other than Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, there has been very very few people who have really made a name in the field of research from our country. It means that the youth is not interested in that kind of a work. So, what I would like to say that you have to generate interest in science right from a very very early age. And how do you do it? Like science is one subject; it cannot be taught like any other subject. It has to be taught like basically when we teach a subject. If I can talk a little bit about Bloom's taxonomy, that everybody talks about it, and that is how we are supposed to be following the lesson in the class. So, teaching any subject, and especially for science, I would say, only remembering and understanding is not it's not enough. Because see, average teachers, they make children remember things. They give notes. They tell them to mug up. A little better than that, they tell that you understand the concept and then you try to do it. But these are just two levels of teaching. Okay, when you go to the higher levels of teaching, then whatever we are teaching in the class, the student must be able to apply it in day to day life, otherwise it has no meaning. For example, if I'm teaching about a lemon, let us say, I'll explain with a very small example. If I'm teaching about a lemon, and if the student has mugged up that lemon is yellow in color and it is sour in taste and blah blah blah, so that is the level of understanding the about the lemon. But if the child knows that lemon is rich in vitamin C, and if someone is falling sick at home or is sneezing at home, if the child knows that lemon can be used, it can be squeezed in water and given to that person, so that will say that the child has been able to apply the knowledge. Okay, and even application is not enough. Child should be able to analyze the informations that they get. We say that these fruits are rich in vitamin C. Child should be able to analyze what is the level of vitamin C in different type of fruits. If I take an orange, if I take an amla, if I take a lemon, what is how we can compare these three, because basically these three are looking the same because all have vitamin C. So this is the analysis of the knowledge. Because until unless you analyze something, you will not get any interest in research part. And the highest level of teaching a subject, and especially when we talk of sciences, creating something. Is my child able to create something? Is my child able to make a working model? Is my child able to do a little startup with the knowledge of science that the child has gained in school? Can they make a small simple machine? Like if you have seen the TV show where the Shark Tank of India, if you have seen that, there were many boys who came from villages and who have made beautiful machines that are helping in agriculture, to sprinkle pesticides and to do a lot of these type of small works. So that is the ultimate goal of teaching any subject, and especially for science, that is the goal. Okay, so even while questioning, we should ask children application based questions and these type of questions where their knowledge can be actually utilized in for the service of mankind. For the service of mankind means it can be applied to animals, or it can be applied to environment, or it can be applied to plants, or it can be applied for the benefit of humans. So until unless we teach science with this kind of a thought process, whatever we are teaching is not becoming useful. We are just teaching and children are just passing exam. It is not helping. So to create an interest, we have to actually take children to an area where they actually start questioning us. We have to make children question us. Most of the time, what happens? We are teaching and the children are sitting and they are listening. And if there are few children who are very, very inquisitive, then we have to really bring them up and we have to let them shine and we have to answer all the questions that they are asking. Though just the opposite sometimes happens in the class, oh, tum bahut disturb karte ho, sit down. Something like that happens. So this is something that we have to really work on, that how do we initiate teaching in the classroom that the student becomes inquisitive and starts asking questions. And when they start asking more questions, then they will be able to create something on their own. Then they will be able to apply their brain, and we can tell them that go and find out such examples in the environment, in the hospitals. Come and get your knowledge. I mean, let us combine our knowledge and let us try to bring out some solution out of it. So teaching should always be solution oriented, that if I have learned science till class 12, how actually, is it just because I want to go for engineering, or is it just because I want to go for medical? No. If you have studied science till class 12, then how are you going to apply your knowledge for the benefit of the environment? If you have studied ecology, are you using your knowledge to protect the environment? Or are you using your knowledge to about organic farming, about vermicomposting? Are you using all that? Do you even know these things? What is global warming and how it is affecting us? Because see, we are at the brink of an environmental disaster. Everybody knows about it. We don't know what is going to happen. Temperature is rising. There is a scarcity of water. There is a lot of pollution. So unless our science teaching is oriented towards all these important issues, until then we will not achieve anything, because we have to leave a better world for our children. This is what I feel, and that we can only achieve when we direct the young minds towards this kind of a thought process, that it is your earth and you have to protect it and do whatever you can, and your little effort, it matters. Because children say, what can I do, I'm such a small child. No, it has to start from there. You have to learn to switch off the light. You have to learn to not use plastic. You have to learn to get a steel water bottle or a steel tiffin box. So it all has to, teaching has to be oriented, in that way. Because as I said, that until unless we do that, we do not know what the future will be and what a world we will leave for our coming generations. This is something I'm very, very passionate about, and this is something we are really working on in our school also. Okay, so as I
Absolutely.
said, that these are all values, that this is your earth, this is your garbage, take care of it. And these are your plants, this is the campus, the beautiful campus you are in. Don't take it for granted, you have to protect it. Otherwise, it will be gone. We are just beside the river Ganga and Yamuna, we are at the Sangam. So what happens when there is no water?
Right.
So we have to orient everything, that do not take the air and the water and the soil for granted, because it is a limited resource and you have to protect it for yourself and also for people to come. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
So
yes,
very, very, very beautifully explained, ma'am. So,
thank you.
when in today's world this generation doesn't just understand that go and switch off the light. What if you don't switch off the light? What are the consequences? Why should
Yes,
make a
yes,
conscious effort of not doing or doing something? This has to be
yes,
very clearly guided and imbibed in the child, so that the child
yes,
automatically become aware and start thinking, just for an example, if when we teach water cycle in class, do we also teach that what is happening, why there are so many rivers which are
yes,
drying out,
yeah,
or why
yeah,
we are having floods? So what are the reasons behind it? So this automatically
Definitely.
increases the curiosity of the child. He tries to dig into the topic. Oh, this happens and why this happens. What is the effect of this? How we can control this?
And
Global
also
warming.
about various people, who are working in these fields. What is
Right.
Narmada Bachao Andolan? What is Save the Ganges, Clean the Ganges? What are these movements that are there? And how you
Right.
can, contribute to that? Because people are working in these areas. So it is the duty
Absolutely.
of the teachers to tell students about all these good things that are happening.
Very true. So,
Yes.
relating everything with the current scenario, there are so many living stories everywhere of people, those who have done
Yes,
amazing work.
yes,
So, connecting
yes,
with them, if possible, just share their videos, let the children see, let children understand what it takes to put in an effort and save the planet, and why is it a responsibility to ensure that the way planet is handed over to me, I
yes,
hand it
yes,
over in a much better position to the coming generation. So this needs to be there, and this is the value of science education. Ma'am has a very beautiful cause with her, that she doesn't want to just teach. She needs to make an effort for sustainability. She need to make an effort for a developed sustainable lifestyle. So this is what is required today, and this is what is all education about. You just not only transmit the numeracy and literacy skills, it is also
yes,
about
yes.
making people citizen for a peaceful world
Yeah,
ahead.
it should be everything should be future oriented. We have to look at 10 years later what's going to happen, and we have to be ready for that.
Absolutely.
So,
Uh,
yes.
So one biggest example was pandemic. It just
Oh,
struck
yes.
and everything
Oh,
came
yes.
to a
We
halt.
were not ready. We were not ready for it.
So future is full of these kind of stuff for which we will
Oh,
not be ready. So we need to make a
yes,
conscious
yes.
effort today that we are preparing our children for these kind of n number of these kinds of circumstances which they will have to face. So this was
Oh,
Dr.
yes.
Sujata with us today, sharing her amazing views in very simple language, teaching each one of us to take one step ahead. So, dear parents, it's not only the responsibility of the school to make this effort, we are equally responsible. The change starts with you. We are role models. When we start practicing, starting from a simple thing, better don't use plastic bag. We don't use this for our planet. When you stop it at your house, the child takes this word forward. So
Also,
take it.
yes, and as
Yeah,
educators, we have to practice what we are preaching.
true.
That is also very, very important because we are the role models and children are looking at us all the time. So what we are
Absolutely.
doing with in our lives, we are the live examples of children to follow. So that also we have to always keep under consideration.
Absolutely, ma'am. So this was Dr. Sujata with us on our show today. What an insightful session it was. I'm totally,
Thank you
I
so much.
enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure each one of you have taken a lot from this, and you are all making an effort to include values in science. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. I and my team really feel privileged to have you.
Thank you, Seema. Nice to be here.